अगर सरक्री के इलाके में पाकिस्तान की ओर से कोई भी हिमाकत की गई तो उसे ऐसा करारा जवाब मिलेगा कि इतिहास और भूगोल दोनों बदल जाएंगे। मेरे साथियों, पाकिस्तान को याद रखना चाहिए कि कराची का एक रास्ता क्रीक से ही होकर गुजरता है।
Why India had to issue yet again a red warning to Pakistan along the Gujarat border. What is the significance of Sir Creek in Gujarat, how it is related to another border dispute with Pakistan, and how we are looking to find a resolution. Sir Creek, a 96-kilometer tidal estuary which lies between India and Pakistan, has been the contention point for border disputes between them. But this is not new. This has been existent since the independence of India. But the question is, what has renewed it? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh. Today we are going to understand that how with renewed military actions as well as strategic warnings from both sides, Sir Creek has again become the point of attention where this dispute can be the ground for another round of escalations between India and Pakistan. So when we talk about this whole situation, first we will try to understand what is the location that we are talking about. So when we talk about India and Pakistan border, mostly the friction that we get to see is at the Jammu and Kashmir border. But we have to remember that Pakistan shares a long boundary with us, and this whole boundary is a reminder that how India needs to be prepared for anything and everything that Pakistan comes up with. So the location that we are talking about right now lies somewhat here. This is the Sindh region of Pakistan, and when we are talking about this particular border which is being shared by the state of Gujarat with Pakistan, that is an international border, this is where the present friction is coming from. Now let us move and understand that how this has gained attention recently. So Pakistan in the Sindh province itself, the one which I marked out here, you can see the proximity with Karachi and the region I was talking about is quite close. So there has been renewed military activity near Sir Creek by Pakistan. And in that very context, there has been a very clear as well as strategic warning which has come from the Defence Minister of India, because on the festival of Dussehra, he was celebrating it in Bhuj Air Base, which is in Gujarat. He was celebrating it in Bhuj Air Base, where he went ahead and gave a strategic warning that any kind of misadventure if Pakistan does around Sir Creek, because that is a disputed region, then they will change the history and geography of Pakistan. When we talk about such clear yet strategic messages, there are certain dimensions associated with it. There are domestic dimensions, international dimensions, diplomatic dimensions. We will be moving on to that, but let us try to understand that how and what is the Sir Creek dispute, because at present this has become the center of India-Pakistan relations as well as the coastal security, and most importantly the economics as well as the politics. So let us try to understand that what is the main point that we are talking about. Now when we are talking about this international boundary, you will find estuary like region here, and this is where Sir Creek lies. It is basically a very narrow tidal creek which is present, and you can understand that given the proximity with Pakistan, it has the contention where it comes from. Now let us trace the historical origin. Where is this contention coming from? When we are talking about Sir Creek, you can understand that it is very close to Sindh province of Pakistan and Gujarat in India, and this is basically an opening to the Arabian Sea. Now the problem here is that India defines the red line you can see here, that is the border that India defines it, and it is exactly in between this given creek, and India bases it on the Thalweg principle. That is the middle principle that is accepted. Basically, wherever is the deepest point, according to that, the middle point is taken out, and based on that, India considered this as the boundary. However, Pakistan, as usual, disputes it, and the green line that you see, that is the border which is designated by Pakistan, and this particular line, this is not running through middle, this is running through the eastern flank of the land that is present, and this is bordering Gujarat. Now, the international boundary dispute is one thing. Now, let us understand how it impacts other things. So, if we talk about the UNCLOS rules, based on that, international boundary is the fundamental requirement to understand the exclusive economic zones of the given country. So, if we go by India's boundary which is followed, the exclusive economic zone would be defined something like that, but if we go by Pakistan, then India will be starting its exclusive economic zone from here. Now, this has a direct impact on our economic productivity, economic output, as well as border security as well. So, that is why this is a very important factor to consider in a dispute that needs to be properly resolved through dialogue. But what Pakistan has been doing, Pakistan has been very active militarily, especially in the Sindh province, and that is why India had to highlight that Sir Creek is not a soft spot, it is an absolute red line, and nothing at all would be taken lightly if Pakistan tries to tread through this territory or do anything at all in this particular region. Now that we have understood that what is the main dispute, now let us understand that why is this left unresolved. So, if we talk about the non-resolution of this problem, the first fact is India says we are following the Thalweg principle, and based on that we have picked up the middle channel. But Pakistan says we are going to follow the British maps, and they are using the 1914 Bombay resolution where the eastern boundary was marked. And that is where the resolution or a common ground has not been arrived at. Even after 1914 Bombay resolution, where there was a lot of ambiguity, 1965 war happened between India and Pakistan, and UN tribunal in 1968 upheld 90% of India's claim. Even after such approval, Sir Creek dispute remained unresolved, and India has tried to resolve through this dialogue multiple times. 2007 there was a joint survey conducted, but there has been no resolution because the efforts that come through dialogue and diplomacy are pretty much not respected by Pakistan, especially when they are coming from India. Now let us move to understand that what is the significance of Sir Creek, why it matters to us so much, and it should, and why Pakistan is trying to eye it. So when we are talking about the significance, the first significance is the strategic location, the strategic importance that location brings itself. So when we are talking about strategic importance, we have to understand that it is a direct maritime route to the Karachi port, which is a very important port for Pakistan. It is basically Pakistan's trade and naval lifeline, huge hub, very important for Pakistan's economic output. Furthermore, when we are talking about Sir Creek, this is going to provide another front in case escalation takes place. So this is the place where possibility of multi-front war comes to reality. It is Kashmir, it is Rajasthan, and then Sir Creek. For example, if we talk about 2019 itself, there were presence of abandoned boats, basically, which also brought light to Jaish-e-Mohammed underwater training. It was suspected that is taking place. So there is a terror risk also involved. This location strategically needs to be controlled so as to ensure especially the possibility of a front that can be used by Pakistan, and moreover that it could be used as a terror infiltration point. So both of these become very important from the purview of security. Apart from that, when we talk about the economic aspect, we have to understand this is one of the biggest Asia's fishing grounds, and this is an important source of livelihood for thousands, especially when we are talking about Bhuj region in Gujarat. Apart from that, oil and gas reserves are suspected to be under the seabed. As of now, the exploration has been stalled because of the given dispute. But Sir Creek is, if I have to draw an analogy, you can understand it. It is something like Alaska. We don't know, but it is suspected that it has reserves and we cannot let go of this particular place. So the control is very important, no matter what the narrative Pakistan is setting. But here it has strategic importance, it has economic importance as well, and there are ecological concerns as well that need to be duly considered, because this is a very important part of Indus Delta ecosystem where mangroves are present, marine biodiversity is present, and in the time of climate change we are finding rising sea levels, there is shifting of channels, and Pakistan left bank outfall drain, which was a huge project by World Bank, discharges saline water in the Arabian Sea near Sir Creek, which is another objection point. So if we want the ecological preservation also, then India needs to make sure that point of contention, that this border dispute is not going to be another front where we are going to be harmed, and that is why we want to remain in control and we are looking for resolution of this border dispute. And in this scenario, the resolution is looking very difficult, but at the same time we want to draw firm boundaries with Pakistan, that even if there is no resolution, doesn't give you the right to come and exploit or try to do any kind of military build-up around it. When we are talking about resolution, the resolution reason being it looks difficult as of now. First, International Court of Justice could intervene, but for that intervention, both of the countries would have to renounce their claim, and then International Court of Justice would decide. That both of the countries will not do. Second, as per Shimla Agreement 1972, there was a clear decision that no third party will intervene in both of these countries' matters. So there is no third party intervention possibility also looks there. So that is why all in all it has to be done by both of these countries, and this looks very less likely, especially in the recent times of tensions, that escalated tensions that we have seen, especially between India and Pakistan. Now moving to the main component that we started with, the message of India's Defence Minister through a statement. As I said, it clearly marks a red line that Sir Creek is not going to be a soft spot for us, and it is going to be a red line. So any kind of threat that comes from Pakistan which could affect India's integrity, territorial integrity, we are standing firmly to avoid that. We are standing firmly to defend that. And it is also clearly warning of the aggression. If Pakistan takes any kind of aggression, that how vulnerable Karachi is in this particular, because this maritime route is directly going towards Karachi. So one of the part of the statement was also that one route to Karachi also passes through Sir Creek. So all of this clearly highlights the clear stance of India for their territorial integrity, for any unilateral actions that could be taken, and the kind of boundaries they want with their neighbor has been highlighted. This for especially domestic aspect, it clearly gives a clear messaging that we are standing strong, and this also helps the public opinion. But when we are talking about the global order, this is also an international signaling which shows that Pakistan has a flawed intention, and it always has had that. It clearly builds India's case that we are not aggressive. We have, as per Pakistan's narrative, we have been labeled aggressive, but we are being defensive, and it is Pakistan's activities which are initiated, and then we are just retorting or just giving a reply back to it. Now, what do you think about this particular border dispute? If you have any doubts or comments, you can put it down in the comment section. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.